Hello everyone, I'm again here with a very important reading passage, and the name of the reading passage is the 2003 Heatwave. So this reading passage is really great because this is in accordance with the level of the readings which are nowadays coming in IELTS examination academic. So I will suggest you practicing this passage as a whole, attempting all the questions. So it has few multiple choice, not multiple choice, it has few true false not given questions, one word completion summary, and then 3 words question answers as well. So let's get straight into it. The 2003 heat wave. So first of all, there are few questions which are true false not given. So let's read the question. In 2003, the average temperature for June to August in parts of Europe was almost 4 degrees higher than usual. So we have to look for the word 2003 and we have to look for the word average temperature. And that average temperature should be for the months June to August. And the passage or the sentence should be talking about Europe, and this word is very important, almost 4 degrees higher than usual. So it's almost 4, so it can be slightly less than 4 or slightly more than 4. All right, so get straight into reading the passage and we will analyze and find the location. So all right, it was that summer scientists now realize when global warming at last made itself unmistakably felt. People in northern hemisphere knew that summer 2003 was remarkable. Britain had record high temperatures. Europe, okay, so they're talking about Europe, had uncontrollable forest fires, great rivers drying to a trickle, and thousands of heat related deaths. Okay, but how remarkable that summer was means the summer of 2003. Okay, so they are talking about summer of 2003 and Europe. So we are very close to the answer, but how remarkable that summer was is now becoming clear. But they're not talking anything about 4 degree, so maybe it's somewhere here because it's nearly 4. So let's read. Over a great rectangular block stretching from west of Paris to northern Italy, means including Switzerland and southern Germany, means they are talking about Europe. The average temperature, okay, so they are talking about average temperature in the question, and here they are also talking about average temperature for June to August in parts of Europe. Yes, they are already talking about Europe, and the summer months means June to August was almost 4 degree, because they are also talking about June to August here. So the average temperature was 3.78 degree higher than the long-term average. I mean 3.78 degree higher means almost 4 degree. So almost 4 degree means 3.78 degrees Celsius. So yes, so the answer is true, as they say that average temperature for June to August in Europe was 3.78 degrees Celsius. Yes, that's true because it was almost 4 degrees Celsius. That's 3.78. So that's the answer. All right, let's move towards the second question and we'll keep reading the passage so that we can get the answers. So let me share the next question. So according to Phil Jones, the impact people have on the planet was one reason for 2003's record summer. So we have to look for this word, Phil Jones. The impact people have on the planet was one reason for 2003. Okay, so because people might be having some kind of bad impact on the planet, so that was one reason why 2003's summer was record breaking. Okay, but we have to find a location where they are talking about Phil Jones. Okay, so we'll just skim it and here we go. So here's the Phil Jones. We'll understand the meaning of these 4 sentences. There is nothing like in this in the previous data. It is considered so extraordinary that Professor Phil Jones openly suggests in a manner that few scientists have done that 2003's, okay, so they are talking about 2003's extreme temperature, and they are talking about 2003's record summer, and Phil Jones is also there. Okay, may be directly attributed to global warming caused by human actions rather than natural climatic variations. So they are saying yes, it's caused by attributed to global warming caused by human actions. All right, so this answer would be true because they are saying that yes, it's caused by human actions. So answer is true again. So the third one, temperatures are recorded twice. So we have to find this word twice daily in major cities. So we have to find these words twice daily in major cities. So they are already talking about Europe, but what about major cities? Let's read if we are able to find. Twice daily, meteorologists have until now satisfied themselves with the idea, so we'll just skim it. Okay, so they are not talking anything about cities or recording temperature twice. Maybe in the next passage. Over the past 200 years, there have been at least half a dozen instances of anomalies. Okay, so there again they are talking about the temperature anomaly, but nothing about twice daily, so it seems as if it's not given. Still, keep on reading if we are able to find something. That is quite remarkable. So they're not talking anything about cities or recording the temperature twice daily. So they are not talking about this one. Let's read question number 17. If we are able to find answer to 17 somewhere here, that means this should definitely be not given. Let's keep it as it is. Read the question number 17. Professor Phil Jones believes that exceptional summer temperatures. So this is the keyword, that exceptional summer temperatures are within normal variations. So this will be true if that professor believes that this exceptional summer's range is within the normal variation, then it's true. If it is not within the normal variation, but the opposite for normal means it's exceptional or unusual, then it's false. If they are not talking or comparing anything, that if it's with normal, if it's within normal variation or it's not within normal variation, then it's not given. All right, so let's read this one, because here they are talking about Professor Jones. There's a word unusual, so it might be false. Let's read. Over the past 200 years, there have been at least half a dozen instances of temperature anomalies surpassing 2 degrees Celsius. However, there has been nothing remotely compared to that year. So he's saying that there has been nothing remotely compared to that year, means 2003 year is incomparable, when the anomaly was 4 degrees Celsius. Yes, so this makes sense. So they say that 2 degrees Celsius was within acceptable range, but the 2003 summer's anomaly was 4 degrees Celsius. Anomaly means difference in temperature. That is quite remarkable. Professor John says it's very unusual in statistical sense. So they're saying that it's very unusual because it's 4 degrees Celsius. Had it been 2 degrees Celsius, it would have been usual, but now it's 4 degrees Celsius. When we look for 2003, then it is unusual. So it says that the exceptional summer temperature are within normal variation. No, so they are saying they are not within normal variation. Normal variation is 2 degrees Celsius, but this is not within the normal variation. This is outside the normal variation, because the normal variation was 2 degrees Celsius, but it's outside. That means it's 4 degrees Celsius. That means it's unusual. But they are saying that it's usual and it's within normal variation. No, so that's false. So we are able to find this answer to 17, but there is nothing being talked about measuring the temperature daily, so it's not given. Because twice Delhi and major cities, so they're not talking about this thing. 18th. Before 2003, global warming generally caused, so talking about 2003, before 2003, global warming generally caused milder winter months, not warmer summers. Okay, so if the passage says the same, that global warming caused milder winter months, means winter months were not quite extreme, they were milder, not warmer summers, and the summers were not warmer. So if they are matching, when these are the same words, then it's true. If these are the opposite words, then the answer would be false. So 18th. All right, so let's read the next one, where they are talking about winter months, winter or summer. Right. Summer, however the final degree of it is likely due to global warming. Again, the answer to 15th is given here again. So there might be reasons. The final degree of it is likely due to global warming caused by human action. So yes, the final degree is caused by human actions. So 15th was saying that the impact people have on the planet was one reason for 2003's record summer. Yes, so this was the one reason. So it's again justifying that the final degree of it is likely due to global warming caused by the human action, the final degree. So 15th was already true. So 18th is let's read this one if we are able to find the 18th. That year's summer had been one that climate scientists had been expecting, but until then the warming had primarily manifested itself in, yes, here we are able to find the answer. So the warming had primarily manifested itself in milder winters rather than significantly hot summers. Means winters were milder and summers were not significantly hotter. Here they are saying the same thing. Winters were milder winters, and here they are saying that summers were not warmer, and here they are also saying that the milder winters rather than significantly hotter summer. Means there were milder winters, there is a word rather than, means this is not the case but this is the case. For example, if I want to say I will like to have a cup of tea rather than coffee, that means I won't have coffee but tea. So they are saying milder winter rather than hotter summer. Yes, so it's saying the same thing. Global warming generally caused milder winter. Yes, not warmer summer. Yes, so summers were not warmer. So it's true. New sky resorts are being built at higher altitudes in some countries. Are being built means these days at higher altitude in some countries. Okay, so let's read. Last week, the UN predicted that winters were warming so rapidly that Europe's lower level ski resorts would disappear. Okay, but they are talking about the ones which are already present there, but the question is talking about a new. So the location is talking nothing about the new, that the new ones are being built and at higher altitude. Even they are not talking about higher altitude. So answer is not given. Alright, now the question number 20th and 21. So question 20th says, in Britain, which 2 years had hotter summers than the one under discussion? So here you go. Question number 20th is, in Britain, which 2 years had hotter summers than the one under discussion? Hotter means more hot than 2003. The year under discussion is 2003, and hotter than 2003 means there are 2 other years who were, where there were people who were, experiencing even more hot summer than 2003. So in Britain, which 2 years had hotter summers than one under discussion? Okay, so let's read the next one. Twentieth question. So years means they are asking 2 years, maybe like 2001 or 1970 or something. So if we skim, so the first passage is not talking anything about years, not even the second one. So the answer is probably lying in the third one, because it's talking about years. 76, 95, this one. So yes, so we'll understand this one and we'll be able to answer 20. In Britain, which 2 years had hotter summers than the one under discussion? Okay, so we have to compare 2003 with other ones. All right. For Britain, the year as a whole is likely to be the warmest on record, but despite the temperature record on August 10, means August 10, 2003 witnessed a lot of warmth. Despite that means, although yes, it was quite hot, but despite what? Despite the temperature record on August 10, the summer itself falls behind this and this. Means the summer of 2003 falls behind these ones. Means the top years, if we analyze them on the basis of, hot summers, then 2003 falls behind these 2 years. Means they were hotter than 2003. So the question is saying which 2 years had hotter summer than the one under discussion. So these are these 2 years, 76 and 1995. 1976 and 1995. Next question. Apart from the extreme summer of 2003, what other natural event has affected the way Britain is planning for the future? So we have to find another natural calamity apart from this extreme summer. Okay, let's read. So we have to find the name of another natural calamity, so we can just skim. We are able to find any kind of flood, tsunami or something, earthquake. Here we go. It will certainly have left its mark on several countries' thoughts and plans for climate change. Much like the 2000 floods transformed how the government is considering flooding. So there were floods in 2000, because of which government started considering flooding and started paying attention to the climate change. So the question is saying this thing. Apart from the extreme summer in 2003, what other natural event? So we have to name one event which has affected the way Britain is planning for the future. So they are talking about government's planning. So it is floods, 2000 floods. Because we can give one word and or one number. So this will be right, because this is one number and this is one word. So 2000 floods. So only floods will not be the answer, because they are asking about which particular event was that. So it's 2000 floods. All right, let's complete the summary now. Here we have to write one word or a number. Now 21 is instead saying no more than 3 words and or a number. So no more than 3 words means you can write 1 word, 2 word or 3 words, and or number means you can either add a number or number is optional. So that's why 2000 floods means one word is allowed, two words are allowed, three words allowed. So one word is allowed means one word, and one number is also allowed, so 2000. So the next 22 to 25 is one word and or a number. So let's do it quickly. The 3 warmest years since global temperature records began in dash have been this, this and this. So 3 warmest years are this, this and this. So they're talking about in, where these have been. So we have to find maybe a location. The 3 warmest years since global temperature records began in dash have been this, this and this. Okay. So 3 warmest years. So they are already talking about 2003. Here they are talking about 2002. And they are also talking about 1800. So answer is somewhere here. So where? In Britain. So they were just asking that where these have been recorded. These 3 years have been recorded to be the warmest. So it's in Britain. So answer is clearly written. So it's Britain. 23rd. It's still a fact that warmest 10 years have all been after dash. It's still a fact that warmest 10 years have all been after dash. Okay, so after dash. We'll read. However, when the records for October, November and December, it might move into second place, the 10 hottest. Okay, so they are also talking about 10 years. The question is talking about 10 years. So the location is also talking about 10 hottest years. 10 hottest years in the record have occurred since 1800. There have been 10 years which have been recorded to be the hottest. So the question is also saying that the warmest 10 years have all been after. All been after means since. All been after since what? Since 1800. So the answer is 1800. 1800. Record temperatures in Europe in summer 2003 were the highest for at least dash years. Okay. Recorded temperatures in Europe in summer. Okay, so the temperatures which were recorded in Europe in summer 2003 were the highest for at least. For how many years it remained the highest? Maybe in 2010 there was a hotter year than 2003. That means it remained the highest for 7 years. So recorded temperatures in Europe, which was 4 degree, with 4 degree higher. Recorded temperature in Europe in summer 2003 were the highest for at least how many years? For at least how many years? All right. Okay, so we are able to do this one. Next, read this and skim and just find the location. Previous record. Okay, so they are talking about previous. It was the warmest summer in the last 500 years and probably even beyond that. Okay, so 2003, at least 500 years. Again, they are saying for at least 500 years. So it's clearly written. For example, in August alone, thousands of people died in dash. In that means some kind of place we have to find. So in the next paragraph, they are not talking about any death rate, but they were talking about death rate here. Yes. So where? So we have to find a place. All right, 25th. The high night temperature linked to 15 deaths in France. So they are talking about deaths in which country? France. So here they are also talking about deaths in France. So answer is France. So last question is What's the suitable title? Okay, causes of global warming. No, they are not talking about causes of global warming. They are saying that yes, global warming may be due to human bad behavior, but they're not talking about a lot of causes, and even that thing is not given throughout the passage. The effects of extreme heat. Yes, they're talking something that there were some deaths, but this is only in the one passage. History of temperature recording, the year of European heat. So yes, year means 2003, and the passage title is itself 2003 heat wave. So yes, the year of Europe, and they are in throughout the passage they're talking about Europe. So the year of European heat means 2000 European heat wave. So the passage's name is this one. That means answer is D. Alright, so this was all for today. I will suggest you attempt this passage as a whole, because this is very closely related to the type of passages which are nowadays coming in IELTS exam. So alright, see you then. That's all for today. Bye.